the most important chapter?
When it comes down to it, probably the most important chapter of all is the last one, which is Dancing Deer.
What is it?
Dancing Deer.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it comes back to the story of my husband. He had a field, and the deer kept coming in and eating his corn. So he kept learning from what, he went back and he sprayed the corn, and it kept the deer away, but then it rained and it washed it off. So he learned a little bit. And then he learned that he didn't have to spray all the corn, he just had to spray the perimeter. So then he learned, and eventually he figured he wasn't going to be able to grow corn in that field because there was too many deer. So he planted foods that the deer didn't like onions. And then one day he came in and he found the onion field was trampled like the deer had been dancing in it all night. And that was when he learned that he needed to find a new field.
Oh my God.
So the story is really about perseverance. It's about not giving up and learning that failure, you only fail when you stop trying.
Right, yeah. Don't lose the fight in the dressing room.
Yes.
Right. Get out there. Did they plant corn one year and then the next year they plant something else? They never put the same thing?
Rotating the crops.
They rotate that. And is that anything to do with your business, rotating?
Well, somewhat, yeah. I mean, part of a lot of companies, they rotate people through different job assignments and help them to grow.
Yeah.
A lot, and these are mostly larger companies. The smaller companies
Giving
can't
people
always
experience. Work with different people, diversity and people needs,
Yeah.
So it's going right back to the crops.
Yeah.
You keep doing the same thing over and over again. You keep planting potatoes. You don't get no more potatoes, right?
That's right. Eventually what you get is a potato famine.
Yeah. And
so that is true. It's growing and feeding. It keeps the crops, the people, ripe, and it keeps them interested.
And if you eat the right food, you get the right thoughts. Well, here we go now. I'm talking like a doctor, right? But, all right, now, this year, how long did it take to write this book?
It took me 3 months to write the book. And then it took me 6 months to do all the rest of the stuff that goes along with writing a book. The editing, the graphics, and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
So, I mean, I started off with a false start. I wrote the first book, the first chapter, and I put it aside, and I was like, man, I have to come back and edit this. I don't even want to read it again to edit it, let alone somebody else reading it.
Right.
So I kind of put it aside for a little while, and I started reading some other books that were very good, and I'm like, what makes this book good? And then I took some of those thoughts and what I learned in reading these other books, and then I went back and I started again fresh. And I made it a conversation. It's an easy-to-read book. It's very accessible. It doesn't have a lot of big words in it on purpose.
Well, no, thank God, right.
It's got some...
I shy away from big words.
It's got some jokes. It's got lots of graphics showing you how
I see
things...
Here's one there. I guess looked like your husband here, the farmer. Right?
Yes.
And he's out there... and it says lead, coach, communicate, organize, and intermediate. Right?
Intermediary, yes.
What do you mean by that now?
Those are the different functions that a manager needs to be able to do. They need to be able to lead their people. They need to be able to coach them and help them to achieve the next level. They need to be an intermediary and go between different people and pull them together and being a uniting force for making things happen in the company.
What's this here? Plant tomatoes in January.
That's about time management and planning your time. The idea is with a farmer, if you want tomatoes in July, you have to start thinking 2 or 3 months in advance of what you want.
So what it's all about is planning.
Planning, yes.
You know what? We planted this here, and now the show's over. The half hour is over. Goes
fast.
Oh my! But it's been a pleasure. And don't forget now, touch base. You got tell them the phone number you get in touch with.
To call me, it's 215-257-9432. The book's available on my website, jettexcellence.com. It's also available on amazon.com and barnesandnoble.com.
All right, let's get a little toast here. Alla salute in Italian, so to your health and good business.